Hello, hello, and welcome back again to the spooky hours, I guess. We're trying to make it in this messed up world. And actually it turns out we're not fully done here, right? Apparently we could do something different here. Otherwise this would be grayed out, right? I don't know what though. I don't think we even had the chance to kill anybody. But I guess that didn't make a difference in these paths either, so that wouldn't be it. Oh no, right, that was just, well, I guess, you know, we had the choice on where to go to investigate, but it didn't matter, so for now I guess I'll go somewhere else, and then... Alright, fine, you know what, we'll try all of the spots. We'll try all those spots we haven't tried yet, because now I'm curious. Don't know where else we could try stuff. We definitely tried the high school and this bridge and the gardens, so all that's left is candy shop and the other bridge. I don't think it'll make a difference, but we'll see. But while we're at it, letting this pass, I got like weirdly confused about the events of the first protagonist, right? This guy up here. Especially with him, you know, his corpse being found, I was like, oh, if his corpse was found, but hers wasn't, then that means he must have revived her. But that doesn't line up, because obviously, in this timeline, she didn't die. So, there was nobody to revive, and so her not being there when he was found isn't weird. And he didn't actively get the powers, at least as far as we know, right? Anything could have happened in between here. But yeah, these events and what I was getting confused about don't really line up. Just had that realization while looking at one of the thumbnails or something. Now let's check this place, just to be extra sure. Looks like the same old thing. What's that shadowy figure then? Just some unimportant stranger? Alright. Sorting things out. Hajime Yoshimi's death, Nijima's threat of mass murder, the problems just pile up, putting the detective's goal of collecting all the curse stones in jeopardy. Tsutsumi leaves Erio to handle the investigation while he catches a quick break. Everyone deserves a break every now and then. Except that Nijima guy. So, sorry for the wait, boss, but I managed to gather some information. Took you long enough. Forensics has finished their investigation and the body's been carried away. That said, we're still closing the park to the public, at least for the time being. This place was really giving me the creeps last night, but it looks pretty normal now with the sun out. The night and darkness will do that. Nope. Hey, collect 5 mockingbird stickers. Gorgeous. I guess this trace here doesn't matter. He's been up all night gathering information. Must be nice to be young and have that kind of energy. But I'm glad to have him on my side. It gave me a chance to rest up. Yay, teamwork. But what if he did some fucked up shit while we weren't watching? Things at the station were pretty hectic, but I managed to get some info. Let me fill you in. Thanks, the floor is yours. Who? Asked around Sumida's community safety bureau, where Yoshimi was stationed. It seems like he was investigating the apparent suicide of a girl named Michio Shiraishi. Ah, yeah, I heard about that. He was trying to determine whether it really was a suicide, looking into the height of the building, the force of the impact, or wounds, all that. He must have suspected some kind of foul play, because he ordered the full investigation. But it had already been deemed a suicide, and his superiors told him not to go stirring things up. Huh, what was the evidence? Well, according to the report I found on his desk last night, the body was found at the foot of a building, a ways away from the road. There was no evidence of vehicular collision, so it was ruled a suicide, but he thought there was more to it. Yes, a truck or other flat-faced vehicle traveling at high speeds could have inflicted similar damage. In other words, sometimes a traffic accident can look an awful lot like a fall. So there's a chance that it wasn't a suicide. But what a terrible way to go. There were no brake marks on the road, meaning it would have been a hit and run. The vehicle would have hit her without slowing down at all. Hey. This is turning into quite the grisly case. But the vehicle couldn't have come out from a collision like that unscathed. Exactly, so I asked the traffic bureau to keep an eye out for any vehicles with full frontal damage. But I haven't heard back from them yet. I don't think they're looking very hard. Yeah, probably not. So we've got no proof. That said, if it was a traffic accident rather than a suicide, it's possible that someone silenced Yoshimi because he was on the verge of discovering the truth. That's true. Do you think that the driver is the one who did him in? Not quite. Yoshimi had already talked to forensics and the traffic bureau, right? His death wouldn't have covered things up. You're right on that. Even if the suicide was a cover-up for a hit and run, it doesn't seem like enough reason to kill a cop. Oh, that's right. Unrelated, but I got something else too. I managed to get a hold of Michio Shiraishi's address. Okay. Okay. Would that really be a tough thing to do for a cop? Yoshimi went there a bunch over the course of his investigation. Might be a good idea for us to drop by too. Well, I mean, it won't make the family happier, I guess, but yeah. Good thinking. Hopefully that'll give us some more leads. Alright, let's move on to the next topic. Can move somewhere else. But I suppose we shouldn't yet. Remember the girl Yoshimi met with the day he died? One Hitomi Okuda? Community safety didn't have any contact information for her on hand. Not even an address? Well, they did. They had her parents' information, but when I called, they said they hadn't heard from her in a month. Damn, that's a long time. Shouldn't you be... I don't know. Maybe they are trying. Lots of family issues from the sounds of it. They even said they didn't want anything to do with her anymore. Sheesh. That said, she still goes to school once in a while, so we might be able to find her there. Not sure we really have the time for a stakeout right now. But she could be a key witness. Can't we have community safety track her down for us? We can ask, but it might be tricky to get it done today. For starters, Komagata High School is closed today. Really? Was there more to it? You could say that. I'll explain more later. Alright, but if it's not something we can do today, we might have to forget about it. Let's move on then. Yeah, there's lots of stuff happening here. I got some information about Yoshimi's fiancée from community safety. Her name is Mayu Chozawa, 27 years old. She works as a beautician in the area. Look, I even managed to get a picture of her. She sure is a beauty. But... oh boy, here it comes, but what? Community safety hasn't been able to contact her since Yoshimi died. Not by phone or at her house. In other words, no response. Dead silence. There it is. Can't things just be easy for once? I mean, it's possible that she's just mourning so hard that she doesn't want to talk to anybody. But that's probably not what it is it? Is it? Mayu Chozawa. Mayu is a beautician and the fiancé of Hajime Yoshimi, a police officer with a son. It's definitely starting to look suspect. A crime of passion, perhaps. It is fairly common for people to be killed by a lover or a spouse. But Yoshimi was well liked, and they'd been together for over 10 years. You never know. Things could be different behind closed doors. I guess so. Yeah, I doubt it was her. But we'll find out. But we'll have to consider the opposite scenario too. Could be that the same person who was out for Yoshimi is after his fiancée as well. So she could be in danger. That seems more likely. You're right. Either way, she's important to the case. HQ already has people looking for her. We'll know as soon as she's found. So it's not just that she didn't respond at home, but that they know she's not in her home? At the moment, we only know the identity of 4 curse bearers, you included. Yutaro Namigaki had the foot washing mansion, and Hideki Haraishi had the ever-burning lantern. We've got both of their curse stones. And then there's Nejima, who claims he has the one-sided read. Yeah, that about sums it up. It also shows us the ones that we, the player, know, but they don't. Bull's Procession, Yako Sakazaki. The Haunting Clappers, Haruo Shigima. The Evergreen Beach, Tetsuo Tsutsumi. The Taiko of... No one has that. The Foot Washing Mansion, from Yutaro Namigaki to Tetsuo Tsutsumi. Same with the Ever-Burning Lantern, Hideki Araishi to Tetsuo Tsutsumi, and the One-Sided Reading from Michika Nejima. They don't have the Whispering Candle noted here. I guess in this timeline, the other guy wouldn't have officially had it, I guess. So it wouldn't be right to call it like, oh, this guy, and then cross him out or something. But yeah, Whispering Candle, Beckoning Light, Taiko of Tsugaru are all unaccounted for. As far as we know. Well, I mean, yeah, that's what that means. We'd better figure out who the remaining 5 are quick. How should we go about looking for them? There's no point in searching blindly without a lead. Let's focus on other things for now. Just, put up a little poster like, hey, if you have a curse stone, let us know. And then they'll come flocking in, because, I mean, they have to, right? Tracking down Nejima may lead us to the other curse bearers too. Either way, he should be our top priority. He could do some real damage if we don't get him. I also want to look a little more into Yoshimi. I've got a feeling there's some connection there. Oh yeah, boss. Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. A total of 3 mysterious deaths were confirmed in the area, including the one in this park. So let's start with that one, the young man we found here. He's been identified as Shogo Kie, 25 years old, a regular office worker who worked around here. He died of asphyxiation due to water in the lungs. He drowned. He drowned in the middle of the park. That's not possible. It's gotta be a curse we're dealing with here. I mean, I'm sure there's some way to make that happen. But yeah, it's probably a curse. About that, boss, isn't this park associated with one of the 7 mysteries too? Yeah, the Whispering Schmannel. Beckoning Light, Haunting Clappers, Bull's Procession, Taiko, Evergreen, Washing, One-Sided. I was hoping there would be something silly in here that doesn't belong. That's right, the Whispering Candle. It does seem like there'd be a link between a candle and death by drowning, don't you think? Sharp thinking, Ario. You're starting to get the hang of this. So let's assume they're related. What's next? Before that, the body of a woman was found behind a residential complex in Kamizawa. Oh. The victim has been identified as Tawako Hayashi. Okay, so it's not Yoko. 29 years old. She was an office worker who lived on her own in the area. As for the cause of death, well, yes. The entirety of her body was crushed by some kind of strong external force. No murder weapon was discovered in the area, but considering the way she was found, we were looking for something large, flat, and heavy that could have crushed her in one fell swoop. Hang on, are you saying she was stepped on, meaning I mean, stepped on sounds like the foot washing mansion. But is that what that one does? Actually, like, I know he killed us, but I don't remember the description of the death. Wait. This one. The schmutz. Kills by crushing one who hears the command. Okay. It is crushing. The schmush. Exactly. Crushing is the foot washing mansion's modus operandi. Should be operandi, by the way, but stupid English, you know what I'm saying. The place the body was discovered is also known to be related to the 7 mysteries. Then, is this Namigaki's doing? Shit, I knew he'd used it. Judging by the amount of soul dregs, the victim was just a regular person, not a curse bearer. Probably just tried it out. And, well, tough luck on the lady, huh? I mean, maybe he disliked her, maybe he had a reason. A motive. Guess we should report this to Paranormal Affairs. Got it. And as for the 3rd victim, he was identified as Kohei Jonoichi, 32, a teacher at Kumagata High. He was found in the school's courtyard. Yeah, we know about that one. Cause of death appears to be external trauma from a fall or heavy blow. The impact crushed his arms and legs. Since he was found in the middle of a courtyard, he couldn't have fallen from the gymnasium or the main building. I mean, he could have and then been dragged here, technically. No? A teacher dying at school. And not just any school. Kumagata houses one of the 7 mysteries. The Schmulzmschmschmer? I want to say. I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to say it. Even though that probably doesn't matter if I get it wrong. And it's probably right. But I still am going to say it, you can't stop me. Right, it's where the fool's possession is supposed to be. It's too big of a coincidence. We can't rule out the possibility that this death was also the work of a curse. Right, I gotta sneeze. I hope nobody has a curse around here that activates when somebody sneezes. That could be real though, right? And then you just carry around a bunch of like pepper or something if it's cartoon logic, and make them sneeze and boom, they're done. Nah, so that's why the school's closed. That's right. I see. Either way, it seems all 3 victims can be tied to the 7 mysteries. There's probably a curse bearer at the center of it all, pulling the strings. But you've got a point. All these strange deaths do point in one direction. That's right, and Hajime's case wasn't all that different either. He also died of mysterious causes in a place connected to the 7 mysteries. Problem is that the timing doesn't match up. He died before the curses were activated, yeah. Could he have been hit by a different curse? One that didn't have anything to do with the 7 mysteries? That's a thought, but if that were the case, we'd be dealing with a powerful practitioner, one who could pull off a curse like that without using a curse stone. There aren't many people in this day and age who could do something like that. But you're not saying there aren't any. Oh, really? I see. I don't know too much about that stuff. Are you sure? Can I trust what you say? I'd be more surprised if you did. Well, looking at these deaths, it seems like many of the curse bearers acted last night. But we can't rule out that there were more killings from which the bodies haven't been found. True. Yikes, I hadn't thought of that. But there's one silver lining. Judging by my own curse stone, it seems that the curse can't be activated while the sun's out. Oh, so you've been trying to kill me this entire time, huh? Oh, that's great news. So basically we're safe during the daytime. Exactly. It's also likely why Nejima gave us till dusk. Ah, he must have known the curse stones couldn't be used during the day. Either way, we got till nightfall to settle this. It's time we fleshed out the other curse bearers. Aye aye, boss, let's do this. HQ has mobilized a search unit for Nijima. But so far we haven't received any word. Guessing he wasn't at home or at work. About that, apparently he vacated his last known address a week ago. Serious? So we have no idea where he lives. It gets worse. I checked with the factory he was working at. They told me he was only there for a month before he quit. Hold on a second, you're telling me nobody caught that? Well, I had the same thought, so I spoke to his probation officer. Turns out he'd been doing house visits and interviews, but never bothered checking on his workplace. He also said he'd lost track of Nijima when he moved into a new place. Okay. Jeez, that's just sloppy. I was just about to say that's very sloppy. I've heard that they are giving parole to just about anyone these days because they're running out of room in the prisons. That seems really bad. Which also means there aren't enough probation officers to go around. Dude's probably overworked. That all seems really fucking terrible. I don't know if that's based on reality. I guess this is in the 80s, so I don't know if it was based on reality at the time, but it's still that way. I hope not. But like, goddamn. Goddamn. So Nijima got to fuck about unsupervised. God damn it. That asshole's annoyingly good at faking remorse or insanity, whatever the situation calls for. Back when I arrested him all those years ago, just talking to him left a bad taste in my mouth. He's probably hiding under a false name, which will make it hard to track him down. We know it. Well, we have a good idea at least. That'd explain why he so brazenly made contact. That asshole, he's mocking us. Don't those two already have a clue that it might be the janitor? Or... No, I guess they don't. No, that was just Yako's party who got that idea, right? Well, for now, the paperwork to circulate his name and mugshot is being filed. That's gonna take way too long. We only have until dusk. Speaking of Nejima. Yeah. Did you manage to reach your daughter? It'd be best to put her into protective custody as soon as possible. But it could also be that Nejima is watching us. And then he doesn't actually know where she is. So by us finding her, he'll know where he is. And that's when things get bad. Not yet. I can't reach her. They called, but she's not picking up. Wasn't home when they went to the house either. Oh. That's not good. Does that mean that she never came home? And why weren't you the one trying to reach her? Shut up. I don't have her contact info, alright. Damn, she really doesn't trust you, huh? Either way, I told her mother that it was an emergency, and that we'd send an officer to find her and get her to safety. She was really reluctant, but I got her to agree. I guess that explains why you got divorced. But if you, her former father, can't find her, how the hell did Nejima do it? Former, eh? That cuts deep. Yikes, sorry, it just kinda slipped out. Anyway, I suspect it has something to do with this curse echo. Back on topic already, huh? He said his curse could kill a lot of people in a short time. It may even allow him to act from a distance. I see. The one-sided read. What was that story about again? Something about a man stalking a woman who goes insane and chops her up? Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Something like that, yeah. Ah, right. One of the more gruesome of the 7 mysteries. Yeah. Of course, that would go to the worst person. As for Nijima's whereabouts, all we can do is throw more people at it till we find something. I'll check in with HQ frequently to see if they've got any updates. And that's about it. Shall we continue our investigation? We could go to Kumagata High School to look into Hitomi Okuda, or to Michio Shiraishi's house to find out more about her. There's a lot we need to do, but not a lot we can do. This ain't looking good. We're gonna run out of time if we don't do something. Gotta keep moving. Too bad the funky music stopped. Wait, what? Okay. I think I want to move on with this first, before we go somewhere else. Fancy sushi. Oh, I guess we don't choose where we go. We're just going to Komagata High. I would have gone to Michio's place first. Wait, no, we do choose. Unless what the game just said is basically, hey, if you go to the other place, it's a waste of time. But I'll do it! I'll do it! But the music's back, near the Shiraishi household. That does look like the thumbnail, though. Seems like Michio's house is at the end of this road. We don't want to intimidate them, so maybe I should go alone. What are you trying to say with that? The houses are really cramped together in these narrow alleyways. Strangers like us walking through definitely stand out. It really feels like old Tokyo. It's quiet. This place is normally pretty lively, full of people coming and going. But it seems like everyone's decided to stay inside because of those recent incidents. Ryo's checking the Shiraishi household at the end of the road. This street's real narrow, so two big guys like us would stick out like a pair of sore thumbs. Ryo's checking... Okay. Don't know why that's not being checked off. Alright, I'll go check the house. So, I guess I'll come. Oh, no, wait. I waited. Oh, you're back. No luck, boss. No one home. Doesn't look like I knocked for... Doesn't look like it. I knocked for a while, but nobody came to the door. I glanced in the windows, but there was no sign of activity inside either. And I saw about 3 newspapers stuffed into their mailbox. Looks like no one's home right now. Let's try again later. Area looks kind of disappointed. Kinda wish I had clicked on it. Oh, hey. Just what if he was faking? Now that's a cool bird. Even though I dislike mohawks. Now let's check out the old school. Komagata High School. Here we are, Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. What, do they not have anything better to do? The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. The atmosphere is kinda tense with this many cops around. Yeah. Cops suck, don't they? Is there something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. Yeah, all cops stink. Komagata High's gymnasium also serves as a polling place and evacuation center. Hey, same as my school. A lot of the buildings around here are still made of wood, but this place looks safe and sturdy. Yoshimi also looked out for these students as a Sumida city officer. Juvenile delinquency has been a growing problem for years now. This school is no exception. The school gate will stay locked while forensics inspects the scene of the incident. Looks like they're still busy. Let's talk to the person in charge later. This place isn't only connected to the case because the students were under Yoshimi's jurisdiction. It's also the site of the food's procession, and of course where that teacher was killed. Seems like a likely place to find some clues, don't you think? Nah. Alright, speaking of schools. What is it? You said Paranormal Affairs can't help us right now. So why don't we get that psychic high schooler you mentioned to help us? A lot of the people involved in this case had lead back to this school anyway, so it might make things easier to have them with us. For a guy who questioned me on the legality of working with them, you sure seem eager to exploit underage labor. Hey, who said anything about exploiting them? I just want to give our young experts the opportunity to shine. When did you become such a smooth talker? Anyway, I'm afraid I don't know where they are. Oh, I see. I wonder if there's anyone who can help us scout out the area. Nobody that I can see, at least. I wonder if there's one. Wait, there's a new suspend? That's not a thing. That's not a thing we can do. What does that even mean? Does that just mean we go back to the timeline? And we gotta do something else first? Is that what you're suggesting to me, game? 9 AM, a perfectly reasonable time for students to be at school, and yet, I doubt this will be that simple. Nowhere new to go. You cannot currently progress any further. Well, once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Pressing suspend will return you to the storage area. Okay. Thanks for being so upfront about it, I guess. I guess maybe if now we're with them, we go to the school. Let's just try that first, I guess. Can we even go to the school? Let's find out. Yes. Yes, we can. And so... Maybe just putting them there and then we go back here. Maybe they'll be there now. And we'll have to do that some other times for some other places or something. Ah, yep, sure they are. That's, I guess I just wasn't expecting that to be a thing. In that way. Do I have to redo these in order to check them off again? That seems annoying. So I won't. Hopefully I don't have to. Huh? That's... Boss, what is it? Want to talk to those girls? I do! Yeah, I do. This is divine intervention. We're brought here for a reason. Come on, Ariel. Huh? What? Hey, aren't you? You must be that high schooler skirting the child labor laws who I've heard so much about. Say that again? Sorry about that. He's with me. What do you mean? You're the one who said weird things. Mr. Tsutsumi? Right? I didn't read that wrong. Really? What the? I wonder if that's... If, like, Tsutsumi was supposed to say that last one? Whatever. Mr. Tsutsumi, if that's how you feel, maybe you should look into improving my working conditions. I'd prefer not to work for free, to be honest. Don't you worry about that. If you help us out, you can have whatever you want. Boss the street. Wait. Really? Well, they sure look super psyched about it, and very cute. Thank you so much. I've always wanted to go to a fancy sushi place. Oh yeah, like one of those places in Ginza? I've never been. Let's go. We got ourselves a deal, right, boss? Those girls are at our service. Hold on now. What just happened? I never said I'd... Sushi? Looking forward to it, boss. Wait, since when were you included? You guys are funny. You should do stand-up. Maybe we should. But I'd prefer if this guy sat down first. This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? That this random girl you know is already involved with the case. Yeah, complete coincidence. No spiritual intervention or anything. It's usually easier to let Irio do the talking when it comes to young people, but we only have a day. It'll be quicker if I take the reins this time. But he did manage to win them over with the promise of food. Let's see how this plays out. Forensics is still investigating the area. I didn't really want to bring these kids to a place like this, but there were too many onlookers outside for us to speak comfortably. Besides, it would be good to have Mio look around the scene too. What's that rope all about? It indicates where Jonoichi's body was found. They've moved his body, but this way we still have an idea of how it was found. Yikes, that's a little gross. You can even see how his arms and legs are all... yeah. Cool it, Irio. You're scaring her. This kind of stuff is a little much for a kid. Hey, I'm pretty sure she only asked because you were staring at it so intently. Sorry for staring, I guess. Alright, that's enough. Mio, what do you think? I knew it. The second I looked at the scene. You're right. Traces of a curse still linger there. I figured as much. Does that mean Jonoichi was killed by one of the curses of the 7 mysteries? Yes, a strong curse like that always leaves behind a trace. Wow, Mio, you're so calm. Are you used to this kind of thing? I wouldn't say that I'm used to it. It just comes with experience, I guess. That experience kind of means that you are used to it. No, I've heard some serious stories about you. Didn't you investigate a gruesome scene where someone had been killed by a paranormal attack without even breaking a sweat? Stop it, Mr. Tsutsumi. She's going to get the wrong idea. Wow, that's amazing, Mio. You're a professional. You think? Totally. You're cool even in the face of death. That's awesome. When you put it like that, I'm not sure how awesome it is. It's totally awesome. So a curse was used here, which means the curse bearer must have been on the scene too. Yeah, probably. Miyu Kurusuzu. She's like a disciple of the Paranormal Affairs Chief. I've heard that she helps out with investigations free of charge under the guise of training. Although she's my old boss's protege, she helped me out plenty while I was in Paranormal Affairs. She may look meek, but she's got a strong spirit sense, sharp instincts and courage. That's quite the brain to back it all up. That said, I can't help but think there's some kind of darkness following her around. She's certainly well versed in the paranormal. I just can't get over the darkness. So this is Yako Sakazaki. She was with Mio. Could she be a friend? Did Mio finally make a friend? If she did, it would be this old man's heart good. It would do this old man's heart good. But I better not say that out loud. Don't want to make her look bad. Might be too late. Huh? You want to talk to me? You'd probably be better off asking Mio. Fine. So, how much have you been able to figure out? Well, I know what happened around midnight last night. Someone invoked the Feast of Shadows, which boosts the power of curses, then brought forth the 7 mysteries of Honjo. That allows even those who do not have the power to cast curses to gather soul drakes for the rite of resurrection. At least that's my hypothesis. Sounds about right so far. As I'm sure you know, there are actually 9 mysteries, not 7. When the Feast of Shadows was cast, the cursed stones appeared before those who wanted the rite at the locales of the 7 mysteries. Who wanted the rite? Yeah, sure. We've managed to gather 3 cursed stones so far, including the one I got first, the Evergreen Beach. You got 3 already? Wow. We have the cursed stone of the Fool's Procession. Well, Yako, the girl standing behind me, does. That's me, Yako, the girl standing behind Mio. So we're just gonna be open and up in front about that. I appreciate that. She does. It's sure right. We could take it off your hands. Well, the Feast of Shadows has no effect during the day, and there's still something I want to find out. Alright, I'll leave the Fool's Procession with you two then. For now. Thank you. Please keep collecting the other curse stones. I'll be looking for a way to stop the Feast of Shadows. Okay, got it. That should make things go more smoothly. What about the other curse bearers? Have you run into any of them? Well, last night at school. You were here? You were here last night?
Yes, you see.
Huh. You two were using a spirit board? That's so cool. So that's when you ran into the curse echo. I'm glad you survived the encounter.
Somehow we managed to get away without accidentally setting it off. The curse echo we saw took the shape of a woman missing an arm and leg.
Yeah, that seems familiar, doesn't it? What? A woman missing an arm and leg, that's... the shmay. The one-sided read. This is bad. Huh? What's so bad about that one? You idiot. Think the curse bearer of the one-sided read is... Niji. By the way, every time that name comes up, I do have to think of Nijimagi. Or, you know, I think that's the short form. What's the full name? Nijima... Anyway, the protagonist is called Nijima. That's all there is to it. But yeah. Fumichika Nejima, he admitted it himself. That's his curse. He could also be lying. It could all be big old misleading stuff. But who knows? Oh, that's right. Wait, but if that's the case... Nejima might have been here last night. What? I mean, it's possible he was lying to us, but... What?
Who is Nejima? No clue.
You can tell you. So Nejima is trying to take advantage of the Feast of Shadows for his own nefarious purposes.
Huh? He said he's going to massacre the city at sundown today? And he's trying to get your daughter too?
That's why we've been trying to find him, but to no avail. Honestly, this information has been the most useful we've gotten so far. So just to be sure, could you tell me who else was at school last night?
Well, as far as we know, there was us, Mr. Jonoichi, one of our classmates, Hitomi. Don't forget old man Ashimiya.
Wait, Hitomi? Do you mean Hitomi Okuda, second-year student?
Well, yes, why?
Boss. So she was here last night. Oopsie. But hey, it's fine. At least one of these guys is good.
I saw Hitomi earlier, though, and she didn't seem like a curse bearer to me.
You did? Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Would you mind if we asked you a few questions about that?
Hitomi said she didn't want to talk to the police because she was afraid she'd become a suspect. So I can't tell you anything unless you swear you won't drag her into this.
Ah, I see. Don't worry, this is about a different matter.
A different matter?
You mean about the police officer, Mr. Yoshimi? You know about that? Did Hitomi say something about him?
Yes, she did, actually.
By the way, what do you think about this?
Huh? You want to talk to me?
Okay. Guess we should, let the conversation flow naturally.
Hitomi did say that Mr. Yoshimi entrusted her with something.
He did? What was it? Yoshimi gave her a talisman.
Yes, apparently he also asked her to look for another one just like it. One that Michio had.
What kind of talismans could they be, boss? That doesn't ring a bell. But if Yoshimi was talking about him with his dying breath, they must have been pretty important.
Did they find a talisman in Michio when her body was found?
I'd check, but if they did, Yoshimi would have had plenty of time to retrieve it before he died.
Right.
Would you consider giving us Hitomi's contact information? I'd like to talk to her about this talisman.
I'm not sure. She never opened up to anyone except Mr. Yoshimi.
I'm no good, huh? I was friends with Yoshimi, though.
You don't seem like too bad of a guy. Not all that scary for a cop. But I doubt that'll be enough for her. She really doesn't want to end up becoming a suspect.
Yeah, and I don't fully trust this guy.
To be honest, she was even a bit wary of us.
Very well then. Do you think she talked to Yoshimi's fiancé? Haven't they met before?
Oh, they have. She told us about that. Yes, she might be willing to talk to her.
Alright, then we've better find her fast.
You haven't been able to reach her? That's a little worrying.
Well, let's stay on topic. Mayu Chozawa. We'll let you know as soon as we manage to contact her.
Okay, I'd be willing to give Hitomi's contact information to her. Alright, one more thing. Hitomi told me that Mr. Yoshimi gave her instructions in the event that something happened to him. He told her to give the talisman to Mr. Nakagoshi from the police headquarters.
Right, yeah, that name. What? So it was Nakagoshi, was a Nakagoshi case, right? That's why. A Nakagoshi case, that's where I remember that from. Why would Yoshimi tell her that?
Could you check on that?
I will, but, well, I don't know if they'll pick up when I call.
Is he with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau?
Well, yes, Nakagoshi's the chief, but he's almost never in, so I don't really know the guy. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he exists, or if it's just a figurehead. I've never spoken to him myself. All of Paranormal Affairs cases are referred to as Nakagoshi cases.
Jeez, what's up with that?
What indeed? What if Ario is actually Nakagoshi, and he's not actually a secret bad guy, but a secret better guy? Still not done with that topic.
That amulet Hitomi was looking for may be the missing puzzle piece to this mystery.
Who can say?
If we're talking about people who were at school last night, there was one more person, though I'm not too clear on the details.
There was someone else?
Apparently Hitomi actually saw Mr. Jonoichi getting cursed and killed last night.
What? Talk about some vital information.
What she said happened was...
Michio was the one who killed Mr. Jonoichi? Are you sure that it was really Michio that she saw?
Well, that's what she told me. I wasn't there.
That must mean there was another curse bearer here last night. Jonoichi was killed by a curse, so someone had to have been there, whether it was Michio or not. Damn, boss. Do you think it really could have been Michio's ghost? I mean, based on what we've heard, she does have plenty of reasons to be vengeful. Calm down. Just because the paranormal exists doesn't mean that just anything is possible. It's still possible that Nijima's behind Jonoichi's death.
But what about Hitomi's story?
What story? About this janitor. Ashimiya, was it? How old is he? Do you know how long he's worked here?
Huh? Why are you so interested in him all of a sudden?
I mean, you did say that he was here.
I only just transferred to the school though, so I have no idea. He's around 50 years old. He came to our school about half a year ago.
Okay, I didn't expect him to be 50 from the way he looks. But I guess at 50 you can still have, you know, non-grey hair. It's not that old, I guess.
Half a year ago. No one knows what he did before, so there are all kinds of rumors about him.
I see. Thanks. I think I'm starting to get a better picture of all this.
Huh?
Listen up. It's not uncommon for former prisoners to find work under an alias after their release. The notoriety attached to their former name can get in the way of proper rehabilitation, you see.
What are you... No way.
Ario, have the officers apprehend the janitor. He worked the night shift, so he might still be in the overnight room.
Yes, right away.
Boss, bad news. Apparently the room's been empty all morning. Sounds like they'd been looking to question Ashimiya too, but couldn't find him anywhere.
No.
That all but confirms it. Just one more thing to check. Are there any photos of this Ashimiya? I still also think it's possible that the Ashimiya is not actually the one, but that the real Nejima either died or has some other spiritual control or something, and, you know, took control over Ashimiya or I mean other things or something, you know, there are things that are possible, but also not. I hope you understand.
The old man seriously hated getting his picture taken. He'd always avoid it.
There you go. Call an urgent search for Makoto Ashimiya. We can't let him get away.
Yes, sir. I'll contact HQ right away. Oh my, I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, how could that old man have been some horrible criminal mastermind? I can't believe it. And a curse bearer on top of that. To think he was so close to us this whole time, it gives me chills.
A guy like that really shouldn't have been allowed to work at a high school. Yeah, for sure. Let's hope it isn't already too late.
Oh. I may have shown Ashimiya my curse stone last night.
What? I don't like this one bit. Nejima did say he wasn't specifically targeting curse bearers, but...
I'm glad nothing happened to you. Wait, but then could it have been old man Ashimiya who attacked you in the hallway? I almost told him that you were still in the building too.
Yeah, almost.
What? You did? Yikes, good thing I didn't say anything.
You might have gotten very lucky there, kid. Yeah, lucky.
This is too much. I hope they find him soon. Come on, long arm of the law, help us.
So, the feast.
To put a stop to the Feast of Shadows. It would help if I knew more about how the curses of these 7 mysteries first came about.
In that case, you're probably best off talking to that crabby researcher guy.
You mean Mr. Araishi? I would very much like to talk to him.
Ah, right. He's a teacher here too, isn't he? You would know him already. He might be more inclined to talk if it's one of his students doing the asking. Didn't we put him behind bars, or aren't we putting him behind bars? Will he still be willing to talk?
Do you know where he is?
I do. We tried to talk to him, but he refused to cooperate. But you two should give it a try. He's at his usual safe cafe working on his papers. But we got a stone, so he cooperated. To some degree, at least.
The cafe? Oh, Kurokikyo Cafe in Kamizawa.
I guess that adds a new location to their thing.
Thanks, we'll head over there now. School rules say we're not allowed to go to cafes, though.
School's out, so it's all good. Don't worry about it, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Huh, that's all it takes? Look, man, I won't tell if you won't tell, and you better not tell, or else I'll tell.
What was that thing you mentioned about Michio's earlier? Something about a grudge? Did you know anything about her?
What's your relation?
I'm her friend. I was actually planning to resurrect her at first.
Ah, I see. We gained quite a lot of information from you two. It's only fair we share as well. Tell her, Ario.
Alright. Keep in mind that this is just a theory, though. Okay.
After re-examining the crime scene, Yoshimi concluded that Michio's death wasn't a suicide, but a vehicular collision.
Wait, what? An accident?
That's what the spirit also said.
Being hit by a speeding truck or van would have resulted in similar injuries. Investigation was ordered by Yoshimi, so it seems he had his doubts about it being a suicide.
Ha!
What? A van? Speeding? Yako, what's wrong? Are you okay? Yako, what's wrong, rather?
Did you have a vision that we didn't see at first?
A van. There's a young man in the driver's seat. In the passenger seat, a woman. Yako.
Huh.
Huh? Yes. Wait, was I? Are you back now? How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sorry, I went a little crazy there.
It's no problem, as long as you're okay. That was quite a surprise, though. So I guess that she didn't see that back then, but she saw that just now.
Yoshimi talked to you about Michio, didn't he?
Well, he didn't give me any specifics, if you're wondering about that. So I don't know what was truly on Michio's mind either.
Right.
Do you have any idea why Jonouchi was so scared of Michio?
Well, about that, I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but...
I see. Well, I half expected it was something like that. Thank you for telling me.
Sorry, it's hard to explain.
I wonder what he got his hands on to be able to blackmail her like that. They did not find out about the potential / likely link between that asshole and the, that other case. It was only Haruhi. And us.
Michio, what happened? There must be a mastermind behind everything. Someone who orchestrated all this for a reason. I want to find out why.
Yeah, it looks like we're done. Wait, not with her, maybe? Or maybe we gotta think. Jonouchi was almost definitely killed by a curse, but I wonder about the exact cause of death. If the curse's origin and the cause of death are connected, it could give us another lead. Like, it's not showing a check mark over her, which is why I think it might not be done yet. I guess also because... otherwise the game would probably move on in some way. Hey boss, Forensics is calling. I'll go see what they have to say. Sure, thanks. Boss, they found this on the ground at a short distance away from the scene. What is that? A ribbon? Yeah, the kind you use to tie up your hair.
What? I've seen that ribbon before.
You have? Go on then.
That's the ribbon that Michio always used to wear.
What? Doesn't that mean that Michio was here? Are you sure? That expression of his, with the hands there, looks a little too memey for me to take it seriously. Like,
Definitely, I have the same one at home.
You have the same one.
We bought them together. That has to be hers.
Are you sure it's not yours? Then did she come back to life somehow? Because if my crack theory, which might not be so crack, but my not too well-founded theory of her having been possessed by somebody who isn't us, the player, more directly possessed also, and not remembering it, if she went back to do the killing and used her own ribbon to tie her hair into twin tails. I guess she would have needed more than one ribbon, but could have only dropped one of them. Then that would also explain things in a less, Michio came back to life kind of way, and a more things that are similar to what we already know are happening kind of way. It's a game theory. Did she come back to life somehow?
But how? If I was Michio and I came back to life, where would I go?
That's the question. She's got her revenge on Jonouchi, but she may have more revenge to dish out. Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? Well, what about the guy who killed her in the collision?
If she really did come back to life, then it's terribly sad that she's spending her new chance at life like this. Being obsessed with revenge is such a tragic way to live. I'm afraid that's all we can tell you.
Don't worry, you were a big help. Thank you. We should start our search for Nejima and Mayu Kuchozava. It might be worth it to check Michio's house as well, just in case. Let's use the school as our base of operations. If anything good happens, go to one of the offices hanging around here.
Got it. Thank you and good luck. We'll go talk to Mr. Araishi about a way to lift his curse.
All right, boss. Let's get going whenever you're ready. We leave the curse lifting to the girls, while we go looking for Nijima and Chozawa. It's also that matter of Yoshimi's talisman. But we won't get anything done staying here. We better get a move on. Okay. Guess I'm a little surprised that I didn't find a bird in the area. I guess let's keep it chronological and go here. Right. Life can be tough. Throughout the night, Richter continues to gather information about the curse stones, while Harue lies awake until dawn, preoccupied by the prospect of bringing her lost child back to life. Uh-oh. Good morning, ma'am. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today.
How's your curse stone looking?
I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise.
Interesting. It's possible that its powers can only be unleashed at night then.
That aside, why are you so late this morning?
There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some research done in what limited time I had.
Very well, let's talk. The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clamor of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. This is the old mansion where I was born and raised.
In this old mansion, born and raised.
He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating.
Yeah, that was the deal, wasn't it? By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
And what's that?
Our current plan is to steal the curse stone that's already absorbed soul dregs, but I'm wondering if it would suffice to not steal, but instead negotiate with the curse bearer and have them use the right for our purposes. Would that be even possible? Why would they, if they are a killer, willing to kill for their wish, would they really be willing to give it up? That seems hard. Harder than stealing, I'd say.
Oh? I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the... Hold on.
There was a bug.
And now it's not bugging me anymore. I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible?
So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you'd expect.
Compensation?
Cash, for instance. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigimas, would it?
I don't know, man. Cash doesn't usually bring back people to life. Of course, why, any amount would be fine if it'd get the job done. I wouldn't let monetary matters lead me to regrets the way it did back with the ransom.
Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy.
Do you have a curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind?
Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting soul dregs. Yeah, for some reason other than the first timeline that we saw.
The action is a lot less action-y.
Did you see the news this morning?
No, I haven't.
Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets.
Oh my. Only 3?
That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough soul eggs. And for what those curse stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. I guess one of the reasons it's had less actiony, as I called it very eloquently, is because Tsutsumi collected 2 of those stones, one of which had, would have been more active, I think, and the other one maybe as well. I don't know. They tried, but they couldn't keep going. Thanks to our hero Tsutsumi. As for what those cursed stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch.
What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection?
There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soul eggs yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action.
And then we offer them the deal.
None of the curse bearers seem very proactive. I wonder if this situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended.
Now that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all?
You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they are likely after the rite of resurrection as well.
So you're thinking this person is not one of the curse bearers?
You've got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect the soul eggs if they were after the rite,
this would be very risky, since as a curse bearer they themselves would become a target. So it'd actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively.
That's right, but despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. Wait, how do I say that? No. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect the soul eggs themselves?
You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start?
From the start? I don't know. Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action. Which is why I figured it best for us to attempt the same strategy.
So how should we do it?
There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. To be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers.
How do you suppose we do that if we do so?
At this point, all we can do is search.
If there's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul eggs, can we be sure there even is a rite of resurrection?
Good question. The rite could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am?
Never.
Understood. After all, we'll never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves.
But we'll do it without using the curses ourselves.
By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them, but I only managed to get detailed information on 2.
You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigator extraordinaire.
I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Ayame Tono, the girl we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park, and she loves Hokusai.
You even determined her address. You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire.
I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum pretending to be her parent. Wow. I went around to check on her place on the way here. It doesn't seem like she returned home last night. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble.
Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her. And here I thought you were an investigator extraordinaire. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She's planning to steal the cursed stones, just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. She's good. Next is the tall man who was dressed in black. I met him near Kinshicho. He stood out with the way he was dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. Impressive. What can I say? But he isn't a curse bearer, is he? He works as the secretary to Hyaku Soaps. I mean, I guess at this point he could be. But let's say he isn't. Hyaku Soaps chairwoman. I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. The Hyaku Soaps headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, correct? Yes, they have been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth. I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seems to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I assume she'd want her factories running at full capacity. But with the harsher restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down. But I guess they could be partially responsible for the awful condition of that river. That's right. Even 10 years ago, there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were more concerned with making a profit than protecting the environment. Disgusting. Despicable. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. Well, two men working for that company in a way. On the way here I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have better luck later. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the right would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare. Ha, now that's an interesting thought. Yeah. I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soul drakes, right? Indeed, I couldn't get a good look at him, though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. Well, that's a shame. But I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered the ancient text on the rite of resurrection? The one that lives near here? His name is Hideki Araishi, and the man I met was very similar in stature. Oh my, even he is involved. How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think it's possible, yes. Doesn't seem like it, though. Also, he doesn't have his stone anymore. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being, safety first. Understandable. Of course, I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. Lots to talk about. I prefer to ascertain who else is the curse bearer first. I'll return to Hyaku Soaps to see the man in black. Then their headquarters are down on South Warigesui Street. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Kohei Jonoichi. Do you think he was a curse bearer? Not sure, it's possible. But regardless, this means the two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. It isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shiraishi's residence. It'd be wise to pay a visit. Understood. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shiraishi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they are bound to inspire strange rumors. But those last 2 have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? It's true, both occurred a week before this cursed situation began. Still, it cannot be ruled out. It's possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? What if there were preliminary steps to awakening the Seven Mysteries curses? Yeah, maybe there needed to be similar deaths to, to what the curses would be capable of, or maybe similar deaths to what the curses are about, and then those triggers are basically, then cause the same deaths via the curse. You know what I mean? Like you have to have something of like a drowning death to activate the candle curse, and then the candle curse activates that exact kind of death. But it could have been activated with like other kinds of drowning too, or something. Can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to these curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too. I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. You're right. If we wish to continue to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. We might even discover more deaths related to the curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue with our investigation? What do you want to do? If you still can't use the curse stone, taking a walk should be a fine place to start. Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself. In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am. Where should I go to begin my search? Which places have stood out to me the most so far? No bird stickers here. Didn't see any at school either, which was kind of surprising. I guess we saw one from the other perspective outside, with the school. If we go to school now too, will the others be there too? Will we have a great old gathering of all the characters? Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school's closed. I feel like anytime school was closed, I would not go to school. Not even close to it. The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers out. That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. He appears to be wary of those police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like in those detective novels. Maybe. Can't check the gymnasium or school building individually here. This place is said to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled, since they don't know about the curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say.
Sure.
Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So, what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Jonouchi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best.
Drowning? It's the candle.
Not surprising. Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention. Oh? Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Jonoichi. Really? The story's got two pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling about that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. Oh. And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumors that Juicy don't stay a secret for long. As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in her school uniform was seen around school late last night. Go on. Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio's the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. The student had a list of student addresses on hand. Well, that's an amazing find. I believe all of the students actually have a copy of that list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Yeah, no shit. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Yeah. Well, so far it hasn't, no? Maybe it has. Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shiraishi's house. I can imagine the students are uneasy after learning of the murder. It may do them well to stay home for some time, if not for fear of their safety. The police are probably too ramped up in solving the case to be concerned about their students' mental health. I can see that. It's important that society provides a safe environment for the benefit of our youth. Some school policies could use some rewriting, especially those handling the students' personal information. That's right. I don't want students being kidnapped on their way back home ever again. I expect criminals to grow more cunning as time passes. There may be times where the authorities can't keep up. That's where outlaws such as myself come in. What's this about? Actually, just forget I said anything.
That's gonna be hard. Wait, what did you say?
Got her house now. Sure, let's follow up on that immediately. How did it go? I went to visit Michio Shiraishi's family home, however. No one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door, and all the lights were out. It seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front. Okay, that checks out with what the other guy said, so maybe that can be trusted at least. It's a bit quieter over here. It is a residential area after all. All these rundown row houses really scream working class, don't they?
Okay.
I've never liked these messy and cluttered back streets. They give me the jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompanying me. He looks so unfazed. I suppose a detective is used to this kind of thing and always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't be cut out for it.
I'm sure you could do it. Seem like a strong, independent woman.
Social connections run deep in working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I've met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out the Shiraishi's reputation really went down in the dumps this past year. Is that so? I'll give you the quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. The previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. At first they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn. So far so good. What happened? Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago, when she remarried. A man recognized as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kankichiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is something else. Somehow everyone knew his name. So, what of this Iwai character? He was apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. Oh shit. The neighbors took particular notice of Toshiko screaming, pleading with him to not hit Michio. Well, fucking jeez, fuck shit, man. That's terrible. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the shiraishi standing in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Toshiki was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. Fucking goddamn. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn and turn the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day, and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community. God! That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something? Unfortunately, under our current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes. That's stupid. I'm hoping that's different nowadays. That's awful. And then Michio reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since, Iwai hasn't returned to the home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with Shiraishi's entirety. Well, that's not her fault, though. And seemed relieved that things finally quieted down again. Jeez. I mean, I get it, kinda, but also jeez. It seems that they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here. Well, it seems like they were integrating fine at first, but then that dumb fucking asshole piece of shit showed up. I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place? I've heard many stories where the one partner's personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school. It's possible she fell victim to sweet promises. Life can be tough, I suppose. You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. So now we know what he looks like. Also, kinda similar maybe to the other guy. Also, hold on. Gotta clear my nose. I don't know if I got it all out. Kankichiro Iwai. Details are unknown. The nose seems very different. But the Shiraishis certainly hadn't lucked out with theirs.
bringing such a violent man into it. Their what? Life, I guess? No. Their stories?
The Shiraishis were a tough hand. I can't imagine what it was like. Could it be the girl was forced by her circumstances to take part in the kidnapping?
Could very well be. But wait, those circumstances would have been before all of this. Well, I think we should go somewhere else, but I'm gonna check just in case. Right. We haven't really had an item thing since our first guy. Hold on. Ugh. Whatever was like this, the whatever the booger or whatever seems to be have entered my throat or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. The park. There's somebody over there. We're here. This is Midori Park. Also, they don't look familiar. Ayame Tono lives around here. Is that Ayame Tono? No, we know. Ayame Tono is the girl we talked to. The young woman, right? She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. Wait. The person's gone. There was somebody there, right? Wait. Huh? Or was it just a... Okay, I think it was this, like, shadowy, like, background thing, I guess. Combined with one of these silhouettes, maybe made it look like it was actually somebody special, but it was more of a coincidence. Oh, hey. Oh, good going, ma'am. You found a haiku. Haiku. That's a rare one.
Is it now?
Bluebird. I need to take a screenshot of this one because I know somebody who likes pigeons a lot. Hold on. There.
It's always heartwarming to see children playing in the park. Rishta seems to like kids, perhaps because they are on the same wavelength.
Huh. Well, he seems to have some motivations that maybe they are related to children in some way.
This place is connected with the story of the Taiko of Tsugaru. Not only that, Katsushika Hokusai's home was also in this area. That might be why Ayame chose to live here.
Very likely. Small park. Yeah, no, it's this. This silhouette here combined with the shadows in the background. That totally looks like it's supposed to be a person though, right? Like it kind of looks like it's like a, you know, a kind of skimpy top. Like a kind of punky, maybe gothy outfit or something, right? But it's all an illusion. We won't get much sense standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayame's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I'd prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements. Then be my guest. Actually, let me just add something to the... That, you know, that comment I wanted to make just so to a friend, or rather to a group, about that sticker. I've expanded on it a little bit to say that this game seems good so far. Oops. I hit down on the D-pad, which I guess also worked as a button. I'm back, ma'am. So, nothing? I'm afraid so. She said hasn't returned. However? I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building, it said. Interesting. You've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite being so covert. What can I say? It's part of my job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or my mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? Everything for the mystery. We won't make much progress sticking around here. So you're saying I shouldn't move? Wait. No, we forgot the thing here. I guess because it has a dialogue from this guy, you know, it shows up still, even though the others didn't anymore. Well, let's click on it again then, just in case. It shows it again. That's kind of weird. Look, we have a bunch now. The only place we haven't been yet. The Hyaku Soap's headquarters are on the other side of South Warigesoi Street. They were closed when I visited this apartment, but it appears things are up and running now. To think a small soap-making company could grow so much in a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsue Yamamori is called the Queen. Queen. Hyaku Soaps. A chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market and 7th largest in the domestic cosmetics market. From its humble beginnings as a small soap factory established after the war in 1946, founder Natsue Yamamori utilized her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the market grew crowded with the industrialization of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its roots deep into the area. In particular, it established itself as a household name by focusing its branding toward the rapidly expanding convenience store market. Its flagship products now include cosmetics, detergent, soap, shampoo, and more. The company's name, Hyaku, can also refer to kasuri, a type of patterned fabric. Honjo's ace detective collect all information on persons of interest. Huh. No more persons of interest will be collected, it seems. Natsue Yamamori. Natsue is the former president of Hyaku Soaps, a large chemicals company. Though she retired from her position 2 years ago, she still wields great influence over the company from her position of chairwoman. Recently, there have been rumors about her possessing strange and powerful magical abilities, earning her the nickname the Witch of Hyaku. Prior to the war, Natsue enjoyed working her dream job at a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter reality of the world, however, when the factory was destroyed by a fire during the war, and she was ordered to rework the fabrics she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar work. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in the post-war period, Natsue left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can be seen in her company's name, with Hyaku being another name for katsuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fibers. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsue saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory. Taking inspiration from imported soap brands, she developed new products which quickly gained a good reputation. Ever the shrewd businesswoman, Natsue ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Hyaku Soaps into a household name. Okay. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary. That's correct. Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. Yeah, that might be richer than us. Business is up and running. I can see people inside the reception area. Okay. He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets apart a detective from the rest. Or he's an early adopter of energy drinks. I don't know if energy drinks existed in the 80s. I know they started booming basically in the, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, right? But they might have been a thing before. Back in the Edo period, the canal known as South Warigasui ran through this area, but it's been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from Kinshicho Station or Ryogoku Station, though it's still considered a nice area. The stories of the ever-burning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well. This is quite a lively area, huh? I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center. Partitioning ditch. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe or some tea visit a cafe for some tea, perhaps. A cafe, huh? Maybe we'll meet somebody else who goes to a cafe then. I'm going to go in. I may be a while, so feel to find somewhere to kill the time. I think free is missing there. Okay, good luck in there. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion. I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night, but it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer.
But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries. He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? A shrewd man. He reminds me of a character from an anime. I've got the image of him in my mind, but I don't remember which show it was exactly. I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night, however.
You said your name was Richter, correct?
I don't remember the voice I gave him.
I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you could hand over the curse stone in your possession.
Curse stone? What are you on about?
There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You are a curse bearer now.
You're right, we lack time. I confess I'm a curse bearer. I possess the curse stone of the haunting clappers.
I'm glad to hear the truth. Well, it's not really the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it.
Oh, sure. Because a fucking soap company is definitely responsible for that kind of stuff. I didn't know the soap business specialized in scrubbing curses clean. Haha.
It is the prerogative of Miss Yamamori.
Is that so?
Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant.
So you're telling me that the Queen of Hyaku is a real-life witch?
She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyodo who's gallantly working behind the scenes exorcising spirits and the like.
Go on.
That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once.
Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now.
We have 6.
That sounds like a big, fat, stinking lie. 6, well, I can rest at ease then. And here I thought I was at risk of being cursed.
It seems we are on the same page. In that case, you should hand over your cursed stone immediately.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it in hiding.
Really now? Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it.
I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to, but I promise I'll return with it later. No, you won't.
Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume.
How prudent of you. I'll oblige. So we already knew he was a liar from our first run around. But now he also lied. So I don't think we can trust anything he says. Not a damn thing. And that's how it went. Like, that's not to say that, you know, everything he said must definitely have been a lie. It's just that we can't really trust him. Oops. Accumulated 10 hours of playtime. I also got an achievement, which I think is the first time I've gotten an achievement like that. That was like, play again after 3 days or something. I don't think I've ever gotten an achievement like that. So, they aren't after the right after all.
Well, that's what he says, but he is not to be trusted.
I wouldn't be so quick to trust him.
Oh?
I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having procured 6 cursed stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive. Well now I feel gullible. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the cursed stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. Perhaps the people at Hyaku are the masterminds behind the curse being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? And would they even need anybody's help? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumor. What purpose would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the occult more than ever before. If word spreads that Hyaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique. Or she could be hunted and killed. You know, in a witch hunt, which are definitely very much still a thing. That's unsettling. We should avoid Hyaku for the time being. It'll be a pain if I have to deal with Takumi again. By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby. And what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hyaku employee. Really? So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation, though. Despite that, I've reason to believe Hyaku Soaps is deeply involved with the 7 mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go. How interesting that the Queen of Hyaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the Rite of Resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what it is, or what is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead.
And to do that, we will step somewhere. Though I don't really have any good reason to believe that I have anything new to do anywhere. But I guess we'll just randomly go back to school.
This is Gomagata High School. I guess there haven't been any developments. Meaning there probably isn't anything new to do here. How about the Portland? We're here. This is Midoricho Park. Maybe there's something new here then, if he's saying it like that. Or not. If I wasn't, if I couldn't do anything more on this route, the game would have been like, yo, do the suspend thing, dumbass, right? So that shouldn't be it. What a waste of time. We should move on quickly. Okay, thanks. Sorry. Guess I'm going to the Shiraishi's place again. I doubt anyone's still living here. What? Oh, so you came here too. Huh? What is it? Oh, hey. Ah. Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter?
It's our police buddies.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna stick with this. Dead or Alive. Fittingly, because Dead or Alive 6 is getting an update, and Dead or Alive 7, or whatever they're gonna call it, got announced! Yippee!
because of that, I went and, I assumed that the update would be an update to the game, Dead or Alive 6, like you would expect. So since Dead or Alive 6 was on a big old sale on Steam, I bought it for $12, the deluxe edition, which adds like an extra DLC character and a bit of customs and whatnot. I don't know. It was only $2 more than the main game, so I was like, hey, why not? Then it turned out that it's gonna be a separate purchase, the update. So I was like, shit, I got scammed. But you can refund it, so I did that, and so it's all okay. Still disappointing, and I still own the game on PS4, so if I want to mess around with it, I can. But it's still disappointing that it's gonna be a separate purchase, and that there was no mention of rollback and crossplay has been confirmed to not get added, which is also a shame. And apparently Kula and Maya are gonna be removed for some reason, business bullshit, I guess. But I wasn't really interested in playing either of them in that game anyway. So not a huge loss for me, but still not the best look, I guess. But I still like it because Dead or Alive 6 is my favorite 3D fighter, at least. And now it's not just because of the boobies, okay? All the other 3D fighters also have boobies. Dead or Alive. Lots of rambling. Encountered 2 men. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. The name's Junerio. I'd hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you, not you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Tutsumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So, you two are detectives. Good thing I didn't kill anybody in this timeline. This is my client, Miss Haru Ishigima. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A big wig named Shigima? Boss, do you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard that name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I am my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business, it ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile. That's our motto. How lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on a second. This is the first time hearing of that. They really should just make for a comedy duel. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. I thought we might cause trouble standing in the middle of the street and talking like this, but so far we haven't drawn attention. Then again, that might just be because nobody wants to get involved with the case. It seems they were acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. I guess knowing how to deal with cops is also part of an investigator's job. Not quite. The two of us used to be comrades is all. Comrades. That's right, Richter used to be part of the police force himself. He quit a few years ago to go solo. Is that so? You should give it a try, Ario. There's more freedom in working as a private investigator. I can't say much for the quality of life, though. It's been 2 years, right? I hadn't heard of you since you quit. I didn't think your business would last, but here you are. You sure you don't want to return to the force? We'd take you back with open arms. What, to sit on my ass and watch the birds fly? I'll take a pass. I don't belong in that world. Come on, Richter. We need your talent. The public needs you. Damn. Desperate. Nah, you don't. This is my calling. The police will manage just fine without me. I keep on tying up all your loose ends. Saving the little birdies you abandon. I can't believe you were actually part of the police force once.
There's a story behind everything, ma'am. I don't regret my time on the force. I wouldn't have the connections I have today without it. A young and energetic detective. He seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had the chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. He seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are the bureaucratic desk jockey types. The contrast is rather striking.
I guess the comment she made here, calls into question if maybe her son didn't really die, but I think his entire body was found, right? Not just a part, so I think that would be hard to fake. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. Are you single?
And that is?
Do you happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Honjo?
Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly...
With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady.
Just if you insist.
What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? I would just be honest and say, well, I know some stuff. I guess she's not as familiar with it as a lot of the others, but she would have at least heard a bunch of stuff, right?
Can't say I know much.
What? That was a non-choice.
Is that so?
Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. What brought you here, Richter? You on a case?
That's right, I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year?
No, I remember now. You're that Haruo Shigema
from the kidnapping case.
Huh? Did I miss something?
Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Munesada Shigema's grandson was kidnapped.
Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed. The story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part.
Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. And unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm now on the job.
So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So your findings have brought you to this place then?
That's right. An individual connected to the case used to live around here.
Used to?
That's right. As of last week, they are deceased. We'd hoped you would talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again.
Interesting. It sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like that. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice.
Well, I do consider the police my people.
But not competent.
So you consider the blame to be shared? You've got a stern side as well, I see.
I feel like this maybe this was supposed to be earlier, or I don't know. I feel like the phrasing here is a little weird.
It sure doesn't look
good on the road. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator.
Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. And as it turns out, I was out here last night to conduct my investigation.
Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary?
Out of the ordinary, I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult?
Boss, Richter is a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know.
Can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you got to say. Something is happening in Honjo, isn't there? It must be something big if they've got you head office guys on it.
Well, I guess it's all right. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. I guess if we get the info that he's already collected 3, and, you know, we know that we have 1, and we know of another one, and we know there's 9 or fewer curse stones, then we know for sure that the guy lied, or that he will know that, unlike the suspicion that he already had. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter. So by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul drakes to perform the rite of resurrection. Yeah, we definitely didn't know anything about that. And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo. It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to these curses. To get the situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? That's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into this at all. Damn, dude. Just straight up lying to the cops. But if we're talking shady characters... There was this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Varagesui Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Araishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Richter, perhaps you could lend a hand on our case too. There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my client is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, I can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with here. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shiraishi by chance? You knew. I thought so. It seems like we are here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Alright, Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right, he died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michio. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she had something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn, I want the full scoop on your finding concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. This means the police people are the ones with the most info, right? They got intel from the schoolgirls and from these two. But those two have not interacted with one another. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Jonuchi? I guess he got some info, or rather we got some info indirectly through, from the schoolgirls through the detectives. But probably not all the details. So he wasn't just mumbling on nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet. But the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's true then...
Did you figure something out? Kankichiro Iwai. Huh? Kankichiro Iwai. He'd be the next victim. What? We have to open the door to the Shiraishi's house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss? I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that, you know how long that would take. We can ask for permission later. Damn. Richter? Richter? Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... I guess we can. Take that, you shitty door. That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. A hothead when it comes to it. A man of action. Everyone come quick, look at this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey look, there's a photo of that killer guy. Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body inside. What? Could that be Michio's dad? Nah, he's her stepdad at best. If that, it's got to be the body of Kankichiro Iwai. There's no doubt about it, this man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Does he also look like he's been... You know, he's taken a fall or something? Or maybe he got crushed? It's kind of hard to tell from this. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Hey Ryo, did you find Jonouchi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Jonouchi had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shiraishi. She's alive. She used the power of the curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's got to be that. And if she's alive, then... There's more than one of that photo. Oh, there's a lot of that photo. My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? No. Consider this. What if Michio Shiraishi never died? That... I might have mentioned that theory myself, maybe? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? Totally. And so, I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? 8 o'clock this morning. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I kind of want to say here. Because, you know, of my idea with a possession, but maybe instead of being possessed, maybe she is the real one or something? I don't know. But I guess at 8 they were at school. Really think a dead girl is going around? What if Michio Shiraishi never died? But then, whom did they find dead? Was it actually Yaku? Is she dead and my theory is more correct or something? I don't know, I'm gonna pick this because... I don't know, it's saying like, seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth? Am I supposed to know the truth? I feel like there's still so many unknowable things. In my mind, you know, with what we just saw and what just happened, Richter Kai himself was getting more suspicious in my mind. But I'm gonna go with this. But I don't know, man. Haha, I see very well. Congratulations, you're correct. Yippee! As expected, you got it in one go. I feel like almost no matter what I picked, it would have been right or something, you know what I'm saying? He's fucking with me. There's some fuckery going on.
Like she was in multiple places because she's a spirit, or what I picked is right because that's where the story goes because I picked it, or. I don't know. Well, the cause of death was such, was it not? You must have noticed some time ago. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. What? So you really think Michiyo Shiraishi is alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but... do you really think that girl could have managed all of this? First of all, Erio, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get it right away. Get on it right away. Cause of death was as such. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking in stuff that needs a looking at. There's a bunch of photos on of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa, now hold on. These photos. These are full of Fumichika Nejima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over there. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Maybe they summoned his spirit. I don't know. Let's keep looking around. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they are about. Many of them are written in foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all of these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. Look at these. Pictures of Fumichika Nejima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shiraishis are somehow connected to Nejima's case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all of this too. Do you think that he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He announced that from sundown today, he'll be going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell you the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right, we talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Sumida River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then. You were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So you two have met before, fancy that. I've been worried that Fumichika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole, I wonder who put the idea into his head, and now he's got the whole one-sided read too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo at sundown. Seriously. On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. The fucker wants to get us all antsy. Or rather, wants to get us all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Iwaya and Fumichika Nejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. The sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. It'll be a pain to look through all of these. Okay. There are candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything, you hear? Ah, that's right.
considering this is a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as it is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensics toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. Yeah. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes, they're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my, who knew the Chief Inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. Western black magic. While magic is often classed as a branch of mysticism, or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers specifically to Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, the line between science and magic was blurred, with the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline. Astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as scientific fact, and would eventually evolve into what is known today as chemistry. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic, the practice of using magical knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast to the socially acceptable subjects studied by the intelligentsia, black magic was most prolific among the lower classes. It was the common people who suffered most from the ills of the day, war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led them to seek aid from unholy powers. As heresy, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. It looks like the things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted up to recently. Plenty of the neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noise coming from here during the night. Do you think Iwai was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shiraishis as well. If we look through these boxes in the black, we might learn whatever it is that they were trying to do. In the back, I think, not the black. This drawer is really old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be allowed to touch things, right? Right, Area isn't here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see, thank you anyway. With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned that they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. Maybe the Shiraishi, maybe people thought, well, maybe the mother or somebody thought that the husband was possessed by a demon or something, and that's why she started trying to drive that out, and that's when the chanting started. You know, because of how shitty he turned. And then things went wrong. In many ways. Or it was him all along, because he's an asshole through and through, and also a weird magic Satanist guy. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed with Nejima. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... I guess let's look at the corpse. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Kankichiro Iwai. You've seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. It's amazing.
Huh. Nice reaction to that. Cruel is what it is. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through it if I wore gloves? Well, it's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. Huh. This seems to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here, alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you'd call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. You think this EY guy was studying them, perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about this. EY doesn't look the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. By the way, but why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Huh. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection, like the rite. I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? This looks like a journal. It's probably Iwai's. A journal. His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. What's the sudden boom? Oh wow. Now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So, this Kankichiro Iwai fellow. He'd been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start. He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. Huh. I guess that's one reason to go into black magic. To tell you the truth, it seems he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. What? You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Nijima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not coincidence. It seems like Iwai took an interest in the Nijima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man. Worship Nejima of all people. This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Iwai had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it all laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. Can I just take a look at Iwai one more time? Nejima again. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? Sorry, what did you say before? The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires. To be honest, it's a shock to me too. For years we've been scratching our heads over the motives behind the Nejima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to us all from the very start. Whoa now, wait just 1 minute, do you think? No way, are you saying? That's right, the murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering matched up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. Gotta be kidding me. So that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic? That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Iwai had different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all the stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute that Nejima and Iwai were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane. You're telling me that Nutjob did this all for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit, resurrection. That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life. Damn, that's it. That has to be it. Fucking hell, it all makes sense now.
What is it?
So about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public.
Go on.
Well, we broke into his house and arrested him. We also found a baby.
Oh. A baby?
It was a girl, looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died.
This was about 20 years ago. She was 6 months old, so anybody who's around 20 to 21. I mean, maybe... How long ago was this exactly? Because, you know, the first person that comes to mind as a mysterious girl, young woman, is Yoko, right? But, this? Where would this be? I guess if we check characters instead. Over 2 decades ago. You know, so it's over 20 years, which means I think Yoko was 23. So this could check out. Could also be her, technically, I guess. We'll see. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died. So was Nejima the father? He told us he'd found her under a bridge. He found her? She was abandoned? Huh. I've heard of parents threatening to leave their child under a bridge as a threat, but to find it really happens. I suppose there are those cases with the dead newborns found stuffed in coin lockers, so it's not without precedent. This game is so fucking dark, man. Whatever the case, we never found out the truth. But there's one rumor from back then that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now? Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe that Nejima's guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember all of that. Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant. Goodness. That's horrific. He killed her and dismembered her body. And we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed that man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility it was his child, and that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. But that would also... Didn't you just make it sound like he killed the woman that he got the baby from? Or I guess, you know, maybe she died some other way and he got the baby out of her, and, you know, as a result of something, and then dismembered her. I don't know, man. It's all really bizarre. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is a good guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he has an interest in the rite of resurrection. Damn, you're right. Natia was thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre. Chief Inspector? Yeah. What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, best we could do was find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the sake of the child's future. Well, I'm glad she was taken care of. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in Iwai's journal. We know Iwai had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol, Nejima, while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right, he thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Correct. Turns out someone him gave the idea. There are so many typos, like weird spelling and other mistakes. Almost makes me wonder if it's part of the meta stuff, but I don't think so. And get this. It was the one and only queen and chairwoman of Hyaku Soaps herself, Natsuo Yamamori. I mean, you know, with the idea of rejuvenation and stuff, you would think of a cosmetics firm, wouldn't you? Wait, the chairwoman of Hyaku Soaps? So that's where this leads? Here, let me read what he wrote. The Queen of Hyaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investing money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth, and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. The places greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Araishi. She presumably funded his research into Rite of Resurrection as well. The Rite of Resurrection. Wait. Tsutsumi said that. Well, whatever. That's what it all points toward. I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hyaku pounced on the rumors of the Rite of Resurrection. That's starting to sound likely. It might also be why she's spreading the rumor about having good and godly powers. It's a convenient cover for if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? You can't ignore that. Either way, I think Iwai took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce the family into taking him in to keep a low profile. Huh. The Shiraishi's family, Michio and her mother, took Toshiko with just his unlucky marks. That's fucked up. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? Is that something to do with me? This is where you get involved. Are you saying that... No, you can't mean... You've realized then? Perhaps. Let's think about this. Natsuo Yamamori is the witch. Toshiko is the lady who hasn't been found, I think. Right, the mother of the deceased girl. Michio is the dead girl. And Kichiro is the person lying in this room, apparently. And Ninjima is the guy. I mean, I don't know what the following sentences are going to be, the following pieces, so... Natsuo Yamamori's... child. I guess, okay, the child is... Oh wait, I guess it could not be anything, though. Michika Nijima's child was a child. Was the sacrifice?
Wait, no. So wait. Magic was magic. It's not a child. I don't think magic makes sense for any of these. Living sacrifice was a child. Hmm. Hmm. But how would that get us involved, right? In what way are we involved with any of this? Like, hmm. Like this needs to lead back to her here for it to make sense, right? I saved, right? If not, then I will do it now. Michio and her mother were just his unlucky marks. The payments are This is where you get involved. With the unlucky marks, with Michio and her mother. Michio Shiraishi's child was the sacrifice. But like I don't think Michio was the sacrifice. Was she? Kankichiro Iwai's. Did he have a child? We don't know anything about that. Living sacrifice was a child? Nah. Natsui Yamamori's. I don't see any of this leading back to Haruo. Hmm. Boshiko Shiraishi's child was the sacrifice. No, I guess, we're saying his child was the sacrifice, right? That's the most likely thing. But how does that lead to us? Natsue's. I don't think so. But what if my idea that Yoko, for example, is the child? Then that wouldn't necessarily fit here. And that I still don't see the connection to us. Was magic. In what way would magic fit there? Like, the living sacrifice was magic. The child was magic. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, okay, one thing that might make sense is that Kankichiro's living sacrifice was a child. That would potentially make it her child. And that would mean, there is also the connection between Michio and the sacrificer. I think that might be it. Right? Though, I mean, I'm gonna pick that because that seems like the only thing that makes sense on both ends so far.
Kankeichiro Iwai's living sacrifice was a child.
That's exactly it. Iwai moved in with the Shiraishis to practice his magic. He needed a sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young.
Oh no, of course, that awful man. So it was Iwai, this man.
Iwai worshipped Nejima, so he must have also despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention, he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had the chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time. Fuck! You got it. Iwai kidnapped Haru Ishigima's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone.
You're telling me then that horrid man, he never had the intention of returning my child?
I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michio to lower your boy's defenses and then kidnapped him on his way back home.
That man, he took Shuichi.
Ma'am, please calm down. I understand. You must remember to breathe.
You don't understand. You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Living sacrifices, what a stupid idea from a stupid little man.
Okay, ma'am. Let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air?
I can't believe this. This.
Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. But before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Oh. Iwai got in contact with Nejima last year, after Nejima was arrested on parole. He provided him with accommodation and financial support. Is that so? He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. Does it say where? Damn it. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shiraishis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. If Nejima is lurking around anywhere at the moment, it's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Unfortunately, no. Not that I can tell. But it seems Michio knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up, among other things. What? What good is that information? The girl's already dead. But maybe somebody saw her. Wait, no, she's alive. Maybe. That's right, Michio Shiraishi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on his hideout too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well.
That's fucked up, man.
Once made a living by placing advertisements in magazines to sell phony magic items and good luck charms. He held a nostalgic yearning for the power of a post-war era when things and people were simple, and has nothing but negative things to say about the rapidly developing ostentatious world of late. Radical in his belief that it would be better to tear down society and start over again, Kankichiro was discontent with his life spent poking around in society's cesspool to make a few coins. When the Nejima murders were widely reported in the media, It had a great impact on Kankeichiro, as he witnessed how a single act by a single man could cause a major rift in society. Perceiving Fumichika Nejima as a great hero, he began collecting every piece of information he could find on the man. Kankeichiro was later arrested for his illegal business practices, and a chance meeting with Fumichika during his incarceration solidified his idolization. He was captivated by Fumichika's talk of black magic, and following his release, acquired the grimoire Fumichika had hidden away. As for Toshiko Shiraishi, Kankeichiro set his sights on her after encountering her at her part-time job. When he learned that the Shiraishi family was in financial trouble and could not afford to send Michio to college, he turned on the charm and took advantage of their weakness by offering them money. He revealed his true colors, however, after moving in with the family, and used violence and money to keep Toshiko and Michio under his thumb. All the while, his beliefs in black magic deepened, and he found a sponsor in the Hyaku Corporation. Kankeichiro forced the Shiraishi family to perform various rituals, with any attempts to resist being met with merciless beatings. The mother and daughter were helpless to resist. After Hyaku offered Kankeichiro great sums to intensify his work with black magic, he set his mind to sacrificing a child in order to perform a youth restoration spell. For this purpose he chose Shuichi Shigema, the son of Harue Shigema, against whom Fumichika held a grudge. He attempted to enlist Michio so as to not alarm the boy, and when he resisted, beat her mother 20 times. Jeez. While she was also... Well, I guess that was after, but... Then she also got fucking abused by that dumbass fucking teacher. God damn, that girl had it rougher than anybody. With Michio's assistance, Kankeichiro kidnapped Shuichi and locked him up in the Shiraishi house, and told the young and courageous boy that he'd kill Michio if he tried to run. Damn. While his actions were motivated by a personal grudge against the police, it was first and foremost an attempt to create a societal uproar and break down in public order. So Kankeichiro painted the crime as a regular kidnapping, demanding a ransom from the family. However, because of an embargo on the press, the kidnapping did not cause a public outcry akin to that of the Ninjima murders. Infuriated, Kankeichiro had Toshiko perform the sacrifice ritual by threatening to kill Michio if she refused. Fuck, dude, you couldn't even do it yourself? Jeez, man. Toshiko killed Shuichi in his sleep, but the spell failed, for which Kankeichiro blamed her. Warning Michio to keep silent about the murder to avoid incriminating her mother, Kankeichiro dumped the boy's body in a nearby river. The tiny corpse was found a week later in the Sumida River after floating through several canals in Honjo. Having drifted for days in the polluted waters, little evidence remained. Although Kankeichiro performed no further sacrifices, his devotion to black magic only increased. Toshiko and Michio spent their days consumed by guilt, forced to continue serving Kankeichiro until the day they died. Fucking pieces of shit. Let's revive him just so we can kill him again. Torturously. Are you feeling better now that we've gotten some fresh air, ma'am? I'm fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. We managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right, but Richter, I feel grateful towards Michio. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that too. But it's for something else. If Michio is the one killing all these people, then she must have acquired quite a sizable amount by now. Soul Dregs, I mean. Hey, Richter. Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive, it doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Nejima is planning to cause a massacre to collect soul drakes, then all the better. I won't give up on the resurrection. Well, she didn't say she was gonna do any killings herself. So, I'm counting on you. Oh. We haven't been here in a while. Same one. I say either we continue here, because that's where we've been going, or we go down here. I guess let's go back to them. We haven't seen them in a while. The rite of resurrection is the inception of this whole affair. Echo and Mio decide to confront the man responsible for spreading rumors of it in the first place, Hideki Araishi. They find him in his frequent stomping grounds, the Kurokikyo Cafe. Wondering if there might ever be a sticker in one of these, you know, map areas. Map screens. Oh, there's one there. Maybe the easiest, most obvious to spot. Most obvious, easiest to spot. That wearer would have made more sense. You know, normally you'd be breaking school rules just by stepping a foot in a cafe. I'll be in hot water if you lied about having permission from the police, remember that? We know, it'll be okay. So, what did you want to ask me? About that bird. It's 3 of them. No, we got like, I was wondering if I missed like 3, but like we didn't get these in the same order as this, so it's probably okay. The cafe. I've never been to one before. How exciting. It's pretty smelly inside because of the cigarette smoke, but well, I guess during these times, smoking indoors was very common. Kurokikyo Cafe. A coffee shop on South Warigesui Street. Kurokikyo Cafe's convenient location has made it a favorite of businessmen in the neighborhood. Jazz music, playlist, customers, popular trips. Ice cream. Cream soda. Cable arcade games. Stupid ticking clock. Yakio, if you would. Right, we wanted to ask you about this. Boo-boo. Oh my, a curse stone. An Okame mask? That must mean the Fool's Procession. You two were at the school last night? Damn, there of all places. Yako, you're one of them? You're a curse bearer. Please calm down, Mr. Araishi. Your reaction is too intense. It's kind of scaring me. Sorry about that. I'm afraid I got ahead of myself. What is it you wanted to know about your cursed stone? What should be the best way to approach this? I'd say flatter him, but we'll see. It's just a brilliant teacher like you must know an awful lot about these curse stones. Well, it's true that I'm likely the person most well-versed in this matter. You're the only one we can count on, Mr. Araishi. Would you help us, please? Oh, am I now? In that case, there's no harm hearing what you have to ask. Thank you. Let's see. Why is everything with the rite of resurrection and 7 mysteries, curse stones happening now? Oh, taken an interest now, that you've received one of the curses, have you? Who wouldn't, honestly? You sound like a researcher starting your questioning with your subject's origins. Oh, Mr. Araishi, you're not the one who triggered the curse, are you? No, I'm afraid I had nothing to do with that. Rather, I wasn't even attempting to do so in the first place. Completing the rite itself has nothing to do with my research.
Then do you know of the ancient Onmyodo ritual known as the Feast of Shadows?
What is that? Something from the occult? Miss Kurozuzu, you look like the type to be interested in those things, but it's outside my field of expertise. Why does everybody say that? Just because she has that pentagram accessory in her hair?
In that case, why do you think the rite and curses have appeared now? I believe this is the intentional work of someone.
It's certainly not something that would happen by accident. Why is it you want to know?
Well, you may not tell us anything else if we say that we're trying to stop the curse. We need to make something up. Right.
Make something up.
Well, you see, we just have such intellectual curiosity, and think it could really help your research.
I see, now that you mention it.
Seems like he's reluctant to answer. Then how about...
Act disappointed. I think being like, oh, I thought the great guy would know, but I guess not, might work.
We figured you would know since you're so smart. How disappointing.
How dare you? You make it sound like I'm stupid. You couldn't be more wrong. Do you realize how devoted I am to this research? Allow me to first elucidate you regarding the author of the Record of Fates. A special privilege, I might add, since I have yet to publish this in the paper.
Yeah, okay.
Got him. The Record of Fates was written 200 years ago in the latter half of the Edo period. It was written by a skilled but little-known onmyoji called Seiman Tsuchi Mikado. This is important stuff. If nothing else, remember this.
Seiman Tsuchi Mikado? Never heard of him.
I'm sure you haven't. He was born into a famed onmyoji family, but split away to practice forbidden arts in secret. He used whatever name was most convenient for the situation, so his real name barely exists in records. Or so it was written in the Record of Fates.
Huh.
As brilliant as Seiman was, he was also an eccentric. He delved into researching the Rite of Resurrection, a legendary forbidden ritual that had never been completed. However, by involving himself with this forbidden ritual, he was expelled from his family and eventually found himself in Honjo in Edo. The Record of Fates are the writings of Seiman recorded in the road to Edo.
I see. So he wrote how to perform the rite itself.
The Rite of Resurrection makes use of Abe no Seime's specialty, the Taizan Fukun ritual, a means of communicating with the afterlife. Fukun, probably. Maybe it's Fukun, I don't know. It uses soul drakes to replicate the soul of a dead spirit that has been called.
Oh, wow, I never knew something like that existed.
Thus, it is thought that the only ones who can use it are those with the ability to turn human souls into soul drakes in the first place. So the Rite of Resurrection calls for that ritual to be performed in advance. Then, when the soul drakes are gathered and infused, with the wish of whoever is performed the ritual. By, probably? Performing, rather. Okay, whoever is performing. Okay, then it makes sense. Then it makes sense. The ritual, it can be completed. The contents written in the Record of Fates ends there.
There's no more? What about the 7 mysteries or the curse stones?
There's nothing written about them in the Record of Fates. The curse stones are separate from the Rite of Resurrection. Their curse is one used to enable one who is unable to perform such rituals to be able to use the rite.
Huh, that's similar to what Mio said, actually.
Smart Mio. Onmyoji. Divinations. Service of onmyoji were typically reserved for the upper class. There were a number of shomonji, or hidden onmyoji, who worked for the common folk.
Okay. How are the 7 mysteries related to the rite? Excuse me, Mr. Arashi.
What is it, Miss Kurosuzo?
You published a theory before the incident took place. You said that the rite of resurrection and origin of 7 mysteries of Honjo are related somehow. What proof did you have of that?
You really know your stuff, but about that. That was a somewhat sensationalized piece written for cult magazines.
Oh, really? It was just nonsense then?
Not exactly, rather. It's not a complete fabrication, there is a basis for it.
And that is?
Well, I suppose there's no harm telling a couple of students so passionate about this topic.
Thank you.
This is something I discovered from referencing numerous texts unrelated to the Record of Fates. It was just after the Seiman arrived in Honjo. There are records of a conflict over a ritual used to resurrect the dead in Honjo.
A conflict over resurrecting the dead?
Just like today. I don't know the details. A man enticed the public with claims of a spell that could resurrect the dead, causing a conflict that ended tragically with 9 dead.
9, huh?
That is the only remaining reference.
9 people fighting over a resurrection ritual.
I call this tragedy the Honjo incident, and it has long been a subject of my research. And I suspect that this Honjo incident might be the very origin of the 7 mysteries of Honjo.
So what you're saying is, the resurrection ritual at the root of the Honjo incidents is the Seiman rite of resurrection?
Yes, that is how the Record of Fates ties everything together. To put it in chronological order, the first Seiman brought the rite of resurrection to Edo. We can assume that by this point, Seiman was likely using a different name. Then in Honjo, 9 people fought to the death over this rite, the Honjo incident. After that, the incident was covered up by an interested party, preventing it from being recorded in history fully. Eventually, it was passed down in incomplete pieces, becoming known as the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. That's more or less the course of events.
So that's how they're connected. Then, if I'm getting this right, the 7 mysteries were basically required to gather the soul drakes necessary for the rite. How are the 7 ruled?
And there's more. With this most recent occurrence of the curse, I've become even more confident of my theory.
You are?
Yes, the reason for it being the resentful memories of the 7 mysteries that etched it to those who received the cursed stones.
Resentful memories?
Yako, if you really are a curse bearer, then when you obtained your curse stone, you would have had a resentful memory imprinted in your mind.
Oh, I did.
Exactly. Those memories are what happened in the final moments of the 9 who died in the Honjo incident. Broadly speaking, they involve dying while bearing some kind of deep resentment. The 9 victims became the 9 curse echoes, which over time came to be spoken of as the 7 mysteries, thus gathering the resentful memories granted by the present curses and connecting them together.
I guess that might explain those mentions of people, like, oh, I can't believe she did that, oh, this asshole, it was him. That's exactly what it says in those quotes, by the way. Don't look it up. I remember it perfectly.
It will reveal once and for all what happened during the Honjo incident.
Huh.
That's why you must tell me about the resentful memory of your fool's possession, Yako.
Mio, should I? Yeah, I think it's okay. We need all the information we can get.
Tell him.
Okay, Mr. Araishi, I'll tell you about the memory of the fool's procession.
Excellent.
So basically it's about a woman who died falling from a Yagura tower at a festival.
Interesting. It's not that one then.
Not that one? What do you mean?
Among the 9 victims at the Honjo incident, that is to say, the 9 curse echoes,
One of them is Seaman himself, or so I suspect.
Maybe that's the read.
Huh? Seaman was one of the victims at the Honjo incident too? Meaning an Onmyoju as powerful as him also became a curse echo?
Right. It would make sense that the curse stone tied to a curse echo like that would be special.
The power of a curse stone is different based on the curse echo? Mio. Then maybe with Seaman's curse echo we could... Yes, we may be able to settle this whole situation.
Yeah? Hey, what are you two whispering about?
Oh, nothing, sorry. Mr. Araishi, how many of the resentful memories have you gathered so far?
I have learned a number of them. The Evergreen Beach, the foot-washing mansion, the ever-burning lantern, and now the food's possession makes 4. Of those, the most important are the foot-washing mansion and the Evergreen Beach. By the way, do we... We don't have the full info on the canal, do we? We do. Right now, yeah, we do. Right. Yeah. Of those, the most important are the foot-washing mansion and the Evergreen Beach.
What are they about?
First, the foot-washing mansion. An Onmyoji appears distinctly in this one.
Really?
But not Seaman, I'm afraid. A female Onmyoji who sought the right of resurrection due to her obsession with her personal appearance. Her legs, which she had always taken pride in, were stricken with a corruption after she was defeated by Seaman. Her curse echo is notable for being particularly easy to fulfill the requirements necessary to use the curse. That detective did well to escape this one. Yeah, how did he do that?
So female Onmyoji and rival of Seaman was involved in the Honjo incident. That certainly is interesting.
Next, the Evergreen Beach. This curse echo is from a craftsman of Netsuke carvings named Chinkichu, who was hanged for spreading baseless rumors. He apparently spoke of something that granted the ability to bring back the dead.
The right of resurrection.
Precisely. This man Jinkichi must have been in contact with Seaman. If I could just collect all of the memories, everything will be revealed, and the truth of the 7 mysteries will be mine. That is the knowledge I desire.
Meaning you need to gather as much information as you can from the curse bearers?
Precisely. I have an agreement to exchange information with those detectives. But they might not even find the other curse bearers, so I must take measures of my own. What's the trigger?
Another thing.
Yes?
You never really finished about what the trigger for all of this was.
Well, I don't know.
Really? You're not hiding something from us, are you? It has something to do with how you obtained the Record of Fates, right? How did you really get a hold of the Record of Fates? To tell the truth, we're in a race against time. It could be a disaster if we don't hurry.
What are you talking about?
Someone left a warning that at sundown today they would use the curse to kill a lot of people. The one who left that message is the culprit behind the Nejima murders from 20 years ago.
What? Something so terrible will happen?
I won't allow potentially hundreds of people to become victims of the curse. I'll do anything in my power to stop it. Mr. Araishi, please, tell us everything you know.
I'm sorry, but I truly don't know anything. The truth is, I was given the Record of Fates by a woman.
A woman?
Well, her voice sounded like a woman's, but I didn't actually see what she looked like. 1 month ago, while I was investigating at night, I suddenly heard a formless voice.
A woman's voice?
It said, I entrust you with this ancient manuscript and the right of resurrection held within its pages. Just out of nowhere? Spread rumors of the ritual as far and wide as you can in the coming month. The thing about believing being necessary. The more people think and believe, the more powerful it gets, I guess. And before I knew it, an old document had fallen down at my feet.
1 month? She specified the time period? I was told if I did that, I could study the manuscript as much as I pleased. I wanted so badly to verify its authenticity, I ended up accepting. I haven't heard anything from the voice since then. It must have had you spread rumors in order to strengthen the power of the curse. To tie together the curse and the desire to seek out the right. This makes it likely that the owner of the voice is the mastermind behind all of this. Hence, I went public with a record of fates. Hyaku and the occult magazines immediately jumped at the news. The news was a financial boon for me. Oh, jumping. Now it makes sense. Huh? Hyaku? As in Hyaku soaps? Right, I mean, no. That's not important. Just some personal business.
The lady wanting, sponsoring anyone basically who might have something for resurrection and or youth.
After that, I waited, trying to predict what would occur in a month's time. That's when the curse began. Those are all the details I have.
Anything else you know?
Very well, I've told you this much. I may as well give you one more thing.
Thank you. What might that be?
About Seaman's record of fates. There's a sort of condition to it, another document called the Record of Fates Yin Scroll.
A continuation?
Actually, a section written in Seaman's own hand was appended to the manuscript. According to which, after the Honjo incident, Seaman lamented such a calamity taking place,
implying that if he was part of this, and he led behind a curse of his own, he must have survived and or gotten resurrected or something.
He apparently wrote the addendum for the event that the tragedy became its own curse. It seems he had an idea that the victims of the Honjo incident would turn into curse echoes and be used to gather soul dregs. It supposedly details how to handle any trouble that occurs as a result of the rite of resurrection.
Really? Hold on a second. Don't you find that strange?
What's the matter, Miss Sakazaki? You think my information is inaccurate?
If Seaman died in the Honjo incident, then he couldn't have written an addendum. That's what I was saying.
You really don't get it, do you?
Huh? Am I wrong?
Have you forgotten the ability Seaman possessed? Of course not.
Of course not. He could use the right to... Oh. You're telling me Seaman used it on himself?
The rite of resurrection can be carried out in advance so that it activates when the soul dregs are gathered together. Then is it not possible that Seaman himself was resurrected by the rite after it all took place?
But he'd still have to collect the soul dregs needed to use the rite.
Yes, and that's why they died. The 8 others besides Seaman.
What? They died in the Honjo incident for their soul dregs? I mean, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? That sounds like it's the same as what's happening now. Well, yeah, obviously.
That's why I need the resentful memories to learn the truth.
I get it now.
The issue at hand is that the Yin Scroll and the Record of Fates were supposed to have been passed down as a set. When I received the Record of Fates, the Yin Scroll was gone. Only this information was left. Supposedly Seaman's blood descendants guarded it as they passed it down across generations. Wouldn't happen to be that Nejima guy, would it? It seems that over their long history, the 2 documents became separated and the scroll's location lost as the family line branched.
Seaman had descendants, so there's someone out there related to him by blood even now?
Yes, in fact I've tried to trace the line as far as I could. He wasn't a well-known onmyoji to begin with, so a detailed family tree does not exist. It seems likely that...
Oh, I've been using the wrong voice.
It seems likely that the use of the manuscript has been long forgotten, only being passed down out of tradition. And since they aren't even aware of what they have, tracking it down is quite tricky indeed. I wish I could ask whoever that voice belonged to about the Yin Scroll.
I'm sure you do. So basically,
In the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll, Seimon himself wrote about ways to handle the curse and the rite, yes?
That's right. Yes, that's right. I've been searching for it all this time, but haven't found a single lead. So if you too find out anything about other resentful memories of the Yin Scroll, tell me immediately. You owe me that much for telling you all this, do you not? That's the real extent of everything I know.
Seimon Tsuchimikado. Descendant of Seimon. Regular fates. Yes, I understand. Thank you for your help.
If you bring me some useful information, I'll take it into consideration for your school grades as well. Ha ha ha.
That's... You know what, we'll take it.
Street. We've learned a lot. So, to sum it up, there was a tragic incident with people cursing each other for the rite of resurrection in the Edo period as well. And the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll may have info we want, since it details how to stop the rite. I think that's about it. Right. If we could just find the Yin Scroll, we might be able to learn how to settle this situation. But even Mr. Araishi didn't have any leads on where it is. How do we start looking for it? Someone involved in this now must have some connection to it, I think. I have a feeling the mastermind who awakened the curses is involved too. Right. Whoever's behind that voice that gave Mr. Araishi the Record of Fates, that must be the mastermind, don't you think?
Probably.
Yeah, and he said it sounded like it belonged to a woman. Whoever it is, I bet they're scary. Huh? You don't sound like the Yako I know. Then let's catch him and make him spill the beans. I thought you'd say something like that. Really? I guess I'm just not really feeling that confident right now. I understand.
Because she's possessed by a different person. Maybe. Though my previous theory was that that only happens when we're not watching. So I don't know.
I don't know if it's related to that woman behind the voice, but I'm also interested in the female Onmyoji who was a rival of Seimon.
Yeah. Maybe that's our old lady, but no, maybe not. No, I don't know.
So, Mio, what are we going to do next? Good question. It may be best to give the information we just learned to Inspector Tsutsumi. We got a pretty big clue from hearing about the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll. Mr. Tsutsumi might know more about it. Should we go back to school then? Yeah, that's our point of contact after all.
Oh.
Oh, that reminds me, Mio. You know what's nearby here, don't you? Oh, you mean where Michio? Yeah, where it happened. I was going there every day to leave flowers.
Oh.
Even though they always get cleared away anyways. I'm sure it must be hard to have to be reminded of Michio's death all the time. Oh, that reminds me, Yako. Yeah? When you asked me to do the spirit board 2 days ago, did you come here that day too? Yeah, I left some flowers before going to school. Why? Did anything seem different that day? What's this all about all of a sudden? Though, now that you mention it, that day I suddenly felt lightheaded and ended up passing out for a little bit. But I came to right away and felt fine, so I didn't think anything of it.
Maybe that's when she got possessed.
I see. That's all I was wondering about, thanks.
Excuse me, you girls over there.
Oh, it's him. Well. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but something you said caught my attention. And who might you be? I'm Yutaro Namigaki.
giving away your full government. I should probably tell you. Until yesterday, I was a curse bearer. That should clear things up.
A curse bearer?
Oh, you don't need to be scared. I've already given up the curse stone of the foot-washing mansion.
A foot-washing mansion? So you're the one Inspector Tsutsumi was talking about?
Nah, you already know Inspector Tsutsumi. That makes this simple. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, hey. You are in the driver's seat.
Oh...
Yako? Yes, wait, what?
Similar to that time she was like, again, to that other guy. So I guess, you know, I think this pretty much confirms that Michio is inside her in some way. And that she, you know, she would have been, you know, when she sees that teacher with a female student in the classroom, she would obviously think, yo, he's doing that thing that he did to me. And here, you know, she also had that flashback of the thing, you know. Now she's having this moment. So I think I was right. And the storyteller was just being weird with his phrasing, I guess, to make things more... a little more obfuscated. I don't know.
Just now, was I doing something? Sorry, Mr. Namigaki, what might be the matter?
So he fucking killed her. And I guess supposedly it was an accident. But it sure as fuck, he sure as fuck didn't try to, you know, help out. So this guy sucks ass. I mean, we already knew he wasn't great, but Jesus, man. Also, I guess now, well, I was thinking, you know, since the spirit must have already been possessing Yako by the time they were doing the spirit board thing, that she was the one moving the coin, but she wouldn't know anything about Mio's love interests and all that shit, so... I mean, it could be that she just made shit up or something, I don't know.
Mr. Namigaki, what might be the matter?
Right, I actually wanted to discuss something with you two. Would you come with me if you have a little time? I would rather not.
Discuss something with us?
You were talking about Michio Shiraishi, right? It's related to that.
Huh?
I'm sure you would learn a few things yourselves. If not now, later is fine. I'll be waiting around Ryogoku Bridge.
Something rubs me the wrong way about this, but he mentioned Michio. What do we do?
I don't think we should trust this guy.
Sorry, but there's something we've got to take care of. We'll have to pass.
Look at how mad he looks. Is that so? Well, that's too bad. I'm in no rush, so I'll be waiting at Ryogoku Bridge if you change your minds.
Officer! The killer's at Ryogoku Bridge!
The end. That seems like, you know, like the usual, like, you know, this will become unlocked if we do other things here type of thing, and not the we picked wrong. Though I am a little curious about, I guess maybe we should pick, but he presumably doesn't have a stone anymore, unless he got another one from somewhere else. Let's check what happens if we say yes, because it might give us info, you know, like the other deaths, a lot of the other deaths that we suffered. Usually death leads to knowledge in this game. You can skip ahead by holding this button right close.
Well, I suppose we may as well hear what it is you have to say.
Glad to hear it. Then shall we relocate elsewhere? And then they died. Yaku Sakazaki, 1 PM.
Sakazaki.
Well, there's lots of people around, so maybe we won't be good.
So, what did you want to discuss with us?
Let's see, how do I put this? I'll tell you straight.
I want you two to use your curse stones to bring Michio Shiraishi back from the dead.
Huh. Because you feel guilty about killing her?
What? It's why I was pursuing the rite of resurrection in the first place. Unfortunately, I had to give up my curse stone before I could succeed. But you two are curse bearers with some kind of connection to her. Which means this is the perfect opportunity for me to ask you for this. Well, I'm sorry this is all so sudden. I still don't understand why you would want this. What exactly is your relationship with Michio? Well, we met briefly once, when I ran her over. I was so sad to hear the news of her death the other day. Right. Well, it would be great if we could bring Michio back. But we've already decided not to use the rite of resurrection.
Is that so? It seems, however, that we share a goal. I wouldn't mind collecting the soul dregs for you if you gave me your curse stone, you know?
That doesn't sound like what we want. We'd have to decline that as well. Our goal is to stop this curse.
Where's Yaku going? I see. Well, that's too bad. I suppose I'll have to give up on the curse stones.
Thank you for your understanding. Ew, I thought he was a little suspicious, but he left without making a fuss. But why does he want to bring Michio back?
Huh? Yaku? And everybody else is gone too.
Uh-oh, did she go off somewhere while we were talking?
Spirit took hold of her. Heh, I finally caught up to you. I don't know if you noticed me following you or not, but leading me to a secluded place, you've got guts. I'm sorry, but I'll be taking your curse stone. Either you hand it over or I'll have to take it by force. Oh, I don't think you have a chance. What? Wait, does he have another power and it didn't work? Or is he surprised by what he's seeing here, which is potentially more Michio looking? Yeah, Chio. Wait, what's her name? Fuck. Oh, hey, we got new info on this guy. Well, yeah. Details, horrible details. Michio, yeah. They are rather similar looking, aren't they? Why? Are you? No, she's here again. I don't understand. Wait, it was just an accident. I swear, I didn't mean to. That's why I was trying to bring you back. But then why did you fucking run? What did she just say?
You're already
dead.
Too late.
Written by her. Oh wow, it's a credits thing. That's the first time that's happened, I think. Fast scrolling though, letting us know, yo, this isn't really the end though. But yeah, I guess we're done here now. That was a cool game, I guess. You know, lots of questions unanswered, but maybe there's a sequel to something. I don't know. Thank you for watching and all that stuff. You know. But yeah, see, good thing we changed our decision just to see this, because it gave us some new info. And confirmed some things. Though, you know, the exact connection is still a little mysterious. After this, Fumichika Nejima went on to use the power of this curse to commit mass murder, shocking the public with the unprecedented tragedy. Huh. And from that day on, Yaku Sakazaki was never heard from again. Ending 1, Michio's Grudge. Oops. Reach Yako Sakazaki's ending. And now this is grayed out. So I guess we don't have to go back and make the other choice again for this to be available, right? But yeah, does that mean that the two have always been the same person and Yako never existed? But that wouldn't really make sense, right? Because people knew her and knew both of them. And if they had been twins or something, then surely people would have known or realized or something? Let's check Yako's file. Sadly, her name is like pretty much in the middle here. Student of 2C. Born and raised in Honjo, Sumida City, Yako's family owned a candy store. Sennoya. Sense of duty and compassion, easily moved to tears. Love of chaos. Yeah. She just never lost to a guy. Second year student. Deceased 1 week ago. I mean, we kind of know a lot about her now because of the case. But hey, they look way too similar, right? Like the eyes are pretty much... Okay, no, they're not identical, but similar enough. Maybe it's just a coincidence that they look similar. It's not actually supposed to be the same, but it's very similar. Like, she looks very different. So it's actually... They have a similar nose. I guess they all do. The women might all have same nose syndrome. Similar nose syndrome. I guess the girls are more similar looking, except for her, who's like rounder. So maybe we shouldn't be drawing any conclusions from that part specifically. Though it also seems like more than a coincidence. Who can say though? I guess ending here, since we got an ending, would make sense once again. Since we're done with this plot point that we're on at that very moment. And then maybe next time will be the last episode? Because as far as I have seen, or rather, from what I looked up, this game is supposed to be around 15-ish hours long, I think. Or like 12 to 15 or something. I guess according to this we've only played for 10 hours, so maybe that's what it counts, but I don't know. So we might finish next time. Maybe. I don't know. You know, let me check again. Maybe I'm mistaken. I mean, obviously the fucking, any data on how fast other people clear games is always so far removed from my own playtimes, and especially, well, not especially, and also probably doesn't really represent how long it takes for most people, but it's still like something. I don't know. Yeah, main story 11 hours, main plus extra 12 hours, completion is 13 hours. So I'd say it's pretty reasonable to expect that next time we'll finish. And stopping here seems like a solid idea then. But yeah, we are learning many things. I wonder if this path will come back around somehow. Like, show up over here, and then it's like, oh my god. Who knows? Also, there's like... Actually, no, I was gonna say there's this gap in between these, but that's just because of this branch here. I was expecting to be branches like for these two as well. But so far they haven't been. But hey, maybe that will still happen. So, with one ending achieved, some mysteries kinda cleared up, and others now in the room, I will thank you for watching, hanging out, and letting me possess you to commit horrible crimes. And I hope you join me again sometime. Not tomorrow, though. Because tomorrow I'm gonna play some D&D, which I still have to prepare some stuff for.
I'm such a slacker.
But probably on Monday.
Quite the cliffhanger. Just when things are getting so exciting and intriguing.
That's just how it's gotta be. So show up. You won't regret it. Unless this game suddenly turns to complete shit. But I hope not. I didn't read much, because I didn't want to get spoiled or anything, but at least on Steam reviews it seemed like people had just about nothing but good things to say, so I'm guessing that it won't turn to shit. But I have to sneeze now. Alright. So, yeah, join me on probably Monday, and if not, then some other time,
as we finish this game and then play other things or do other things eventually.
It'll be a great time for all involved, so let's meet then and there. So, until that happens, I say お疲れ様. Bye-bye.